I chose to do my artist presentation on Diane Arbus, an American photographer. She was born March 14th, 1923, and died July 26th, 1971. Diane Arbus was born on March 14th, 1923, in New York, New York, as Diane Nimrod. She was born into the family that owned the Russell's department store on Fifth Avenue, who made their fortune in furs. It was through the family business that she met her husband when she was only 14 and he 19. Her parents didn't approve of the relationship, but that didn't stop them from getting married as soon as Arbus turned 18. At the time Alan Arbus was employed in the art department at Russell's, he was also a salesman and worked as a fashion photographer. Diane was introduced to photography when she became his assistant. During World War II, Allen was sent to multiple art schools and he taught Diane everything he learned. Diane gave birth to her first child, Dune, April 3rd, 1945. When Allen was discharged from the army, the two teamed up as fashion photographers, but they hated the shallowness of the fashion industry. Diane later gave birth to her second daughter, Amy, on April 16th, 1954. She then started to find her place in the photography world. It was through a class she took that was taught by Lisette Model that she decided she wanted to photograph the freaks that she became famous for. During the early 1960s, she began her series of circus images, and from 1962 to 1964, she began to photograph nudists. From 1966 on, Arbus struggled with hepatitis. Then, in 1969, Alan Arbus formally divorced her. About 2 years later, Arbus committed suicide in her New York apartment on July 26, 1971. The main ideas I saw in Arbus's work were political and social and human experience. I saw these things because Arbus wanted the world to see the freaks that the world so often shied away from. Her work showed glimpses into daily life, but some also featured the abnormalities of daily life. She believed there were things people would never see if she didn't photograph them. She developed real relationships with her subjects and valued them more than the photos themselves. She wanted her subjects to be seen as they were through her eyes. She wanted them to not just be viewed as freaks, but as people all the same. The photograph is titled Patriotic Young Man with the Flag. A normal proud American is photographed, but the way the photograph is taken has allowed the subject to be seen in a different light. Arbus wants us to see that even the normal aren't as normal as they seem. In the photo titled Identical Twins, you can clearly see two twin sisters standing next to each other, but you can also clearly see that one twin appears more upset than the other. Through this photo, Arbus shows us that even through all the similarities, it is easy to find differences, which introduces the idea that uniqueness triumphs uniformity. Through the photo titled Tattooed Man at a Carnival, a man is in the foreground while a circus is going on in the background. Through the photograph, Arbus is showing the man as a strong individual outside of the circus that he is a part of. In this untitled photo, Arbus photographed two mentally challenged girls. This photo seems sad to me because the girls seem oblivious to the life challenges that they have yet to face. I chose a Jewish giant with his parents as the photo that best represents what my artist's work was about because it shows how close and personal Arbus gets to her subjects. Arbus often photographs her subjects in their home. Arbus was a caring woman and she cared about her subjects as well. It wasn't just about the picture for her. She wanted to make sure she captured her subjects in an appropriate light and represented them well. This photo shows a Jewish giant interacting with his family. At first glance, you might view this as humorous, but when you actually read the background story, you understand how sad the photo actually is.